Hello there guys, Elite Legionarii here, bringing you some 2v2 action for Medieval 2 Total War. And today I'll be teaming up with my mate, the SwedishLandskekt. He'll be playing Spain, I shall command Sicily. Our opponents are Aceofdave13 and Kochapanda. He'll be playing the Moors and Dave will be playing the French. Now automatically the terrain is pretty drastically in their favour for the most part. They've got hill advantages all the way along their line, but Panda's deployment was terrible. He didn't even remotely deploy close to Dave, and he wouldn't even communicate with Dave. So automatically, right away from the start of this fight, both myself and the SwedishLandskekt will brutally exploit this poor deployment and take advantage of it. And Dave was pretty frustrated about this, and he has every reason to be so, because it's a given. If you're in a 2 vs 2, you must deploy together so you can assist each other. If you don't, you're just being foolish. So, you know, there's nothing against Panda, but deploying way up there like that to have that hill was pointless, because he should have known that neither myself or the SwedishLandskekt would even remotely think about going uphill like that. And that if they deployed apart, there's a good chance the other person would get ganged up on, so you should never do that. So, my army consists of 2 units of power, sorry, not 2, silly boy. 1, 2, 3, 4, I think it was 3 units of Pubby's crossbowmen. So I had 2 armoured sergeants. I believe it was 1, 2, 3, 3 dismounted Norman Knights here, 2 broken lances here, but I've created a reserve line where I've got 2 more armoured sergeants, and I believe it was 5 dismounted Norman Knights. I'm going to leave these hidden in the wood and reserve them for later on if possible. I've got 2 units of Norman Knights here, 2 units of Chivalric Knights there. I believe that's my army. Yep, that's my army. The SwedishLandskekt, now he's immediately getting shot up by camel gunners, which is dangerous, so he had to kind of withdraw from there. Draw his cav. He's got 1, 2, 3 units of Pubby's crossbowmen here, 3 units of tertiary pikes here, a musketeer there, another musketeer there, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units of dismounted conquistadors. And let's see, he's got a mixture of gendarmes. I think he has like 3 units of gendarmes and a unit of conquistador cav. But we quickly go straight in for Dave. However, Dave has some pretty good cav here. He's got like 3 noble knights. He's got like, I think it's 4 units of Scots Guards and a Voltigeur in the front line. I think he's like 4 of those, and then behind these guys he's got like dismounted Chivalric Knights. So he's got a really good army, and it would do him well. And Dave is a good player at Medieval 2. Actually, Dave's got his own channel, as of course so does the SwedishLandskekt, so I'll be sure to link both of them there. Now, Dave does a great job against these Spanish cav because he catches them on the downhill. However, I toss in my infantry, my dismounted broken lances, and I get my cav round for the encirclement. And you know, this is only happening because Panda's so far away and Dave's just getting ganged up on here. But he's still got high ground, so it should make it somewhat tricky to get rid of all of his army. He had a couple of gun units, a couple of arquebusiers, and that was going to be pretty annoying because that can cause some morale damage. But here we go, here's one, I think it's probably about 4 or 5 Chivalric Knights. However, I just go in for cavalry charge, although I don't get much charge there, so I won't hang around that too long. Over here we see some more of cav from SwedishLandskekt getting into the side of these formations. Sorry guys if it's kind of tricky to tell what's going on. It's the terrain and the fact there's so much going on so quickly that it makes it a bit difficult. At this stage I reveal my second section of my army, my 4 extra dismounted, I think it was actually 5 extra dismounted Norman Knights, and my I left 5 reserve dismounted Norman Knights, so that can stop us from being outflanked by the Kochapanda. Also, we destroy his cav at this stage, and now just using repeated cavalry strikes to get into the back lines of Aceofdave. And he was very frustrated in this fight, and he has very good reason to be so, simply because his ally has left him to a fate which he can't really do anything about. So, you know, don't at any point think Dave is not a good player, because I assure you he is a good player, but he just got the crap end to the stick because his ally didn't help him. And actually the last time we fought Dave, the same thing happened, so he's pretty frustrated. And that's very understandable. So what we do here is we kind of draw back our pikes and spearmen and missile units just to start slogging shots off into the Moorish player as he comes in. Now he has these camel gunners and they're a very deadly unit, good range, very good morale damage. I've got to be very careful of those. So quite a lot of these dismounted conquistadors do rout, so it's a testament to how well Dave did to hold out for as long as he did, considering the outnumberedness of his army. But because I got my cav around behind his flanks, I was able to do quite a lot of damage to his guys, and because we just had so many numbers in the vicinity on him, it nullified the fact that he had better terrain and that sort of thing. So here I'm sending my cav around just to try and get cav strikes on Panda and his forces. Now I'm not sure why Panda deployed like that, because usually, like in my experience, Panda's a pretty decent player, and I have no idea why he would deploy his army in such a way as to make it more difficult for him, for their team. I mean, surely he must have realised that holding this hill is pretty, pointless if we're not going to even go for it. But anyway, I get my Norman Knights in here, finish off what's left of the French infantry, and take on some of these dismounted Christian Guard that the Moorish player, that Panda had. He had a mixture of like camel gunners, he has a bodyguard. Let's have a look at the rest of his army. He's got dismounted Christian Guard, Hashim, and like crossbow militia. But yeah, he just, like I'm not trying to, again, when I say stuff like this about people in my game, I'm not trying to put them down and be mean, but I'm being realistic here. If you're not going to deploy together, then you're risking your team's chances, because in total war games, team battles, 2v2, 3v3, 4v4, I know I always say this, guys, and I'm sure many of you get tired of me saying it, but you've got to deploy together, because if you don't, you're going to sacrifice one of your top, you risk being one of your team members getting ganged up on and destroyed before you can support them. It's exactly what's happened here, and I cannot stop stressing this, and I probably won't stop stressing it until I see it no more, that people are no longer doing this. But there are I've been coming battles where it's been done to me. I think like one of my real recent battles, it was done to me. It's very annoying when it happens, because you can't really do much to stop it. If I had been Dave, I would have just simply retreated up the hill and back towards Panda in the best order I can, but we rushed him to try and make sure he couldn't do that. But basically what's happening here is we're just mopping up what's forces and ganging up what's left. These camel gunners and the general's bodyguard unit of Panda are doing quite a lot of damage. They're a real nuisance. But it's too late now. We've got enough numbers, and he's lost too many men because he's not got enough support, because his ally is dead. So we're able to destroy most of what Panda's forces are left. So again, you risk your own army too if you do this. So he wanted to hold this hill, but he should have anticipated that we're just getting up on the other chap, on Dave. So you've got to be realistic about this, because there's a team battle and it's not going to be won on your own. Here is this Moorish general, which is kind of irritating. It won't die and it does a lot of damage. So trees, trying to stop it from causing too much disruption. General's bodyguard units are very good. But at this stage, I'm using my cav to try and rout some of these crossbowmen, although my cav are exhausted, so they probably won't do that great. Plus there are some spearmen in here. So I'm just running cav strikes against the back of the line. I do apologise guys, I'm having some trouble with the camera angles. It's just there was a lot going on, and it was actually a very fast fight. So my Norman Knights do pretty decent, but these guys rout. This is because they're exhausted. I think Dave admits defeat here, and it won't be long now before Panda also admits defeat. So we still have plenty of infantry left, and I had that whole tactical reserve of 5 Norman Knights, which gave me a lot of killing power in this fight to use, because I had it hidden just in case Panda got around behind our lines. But yeah, I have to stress this in 2v2s, 3v3s, or 4v4. If you just don't work together, then the chances of you getting beaten are much higher, basically, because it's a team effort, and me and the SwedishLandskekt do a lot of 2v2 work together in the Total War series, and that enables us to okay, right, announce a person, be quiet. yeah, me and the SwedishLandskekt do a lot of 2v2 stuff together, so we're pretty good together when it comes to these battles. So he admits defeat there, and you know, if you look at this battlefield from their perspective, they had quite a terrain advantage indeed, but they just didn't get it because they didn't work together. So I have 695 kills and 464 captures. That puts me over 1,000 altogether. So that worked out really well for me. SwedishLandskekt has 313, 171, so that puts him up around about 500. Panda has 601 and 109 catches, probably because he took advantage of our tired troops, and he did have pretty good terrain there. Dave did 519 and 34. He did very well under the circumstances he got given. So that's very unfortunate for Dave. I understand his frustration because I felt it as well. But I will put the SwedishLandskekt and the Aceofdave's channels in my description, so check that out, guys, and check the channels. I'm sure they'd appreciate it. Let's just have a look at the statistics here. My Norman Knights, 141, 62 captures, 639. Chevrolet Knights, 86, 102, 152, 49, 44 rather. Epic Cab work, usually always works very well. These dismounted Norman Knights, pretty decent, pretty even with their losses, to be honest. Armoured Sergeants, they were kind of just a deterrent. These are the other group of dismounted Norman Knights, again pretty similar stats, same with the broken Lancers. So you know, that tactical reserve worked pretty well, but honestly we won because they didn't work together, or Panda didn't want to assist Dave very much. And you know, me and SwedishLandskekt can work well, very well together, so it's not difficult for us to do that. So good game to Aceofdave and Panda, but it would have been a much more challenging game had they worked closer together, I think. But anyway, it's just the way it goes. It happens from time to time. It's pretty frustrating when it happens. I understand Dave's frustration, but it does happen. It is irritating when it happens, but it's probably going to continue to happen in these Total War games. But you know, when I see it happening in games, I'll always stress the point that you need to work together, because if you don't, you know, you really risk the chance of being beaten much easier. But anyway, great game. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you soon next time.